Okay, this is the 1970 Spitfire. It's a Mark III 1300cc engine. I bought it in 2011. It's in pretty rough shape. Body wise, the lower body floorboards, rocker panels, the trunk floor was really rotted bad. I did a bunch of work on that, and I've got photos and some documentation on that. But I just want to make a video here, kind of an introduction to the car and the kind of shape it's in. If you're wanting a show car to win any kind of like a real competition show, this is not your car. There's not enough original stuff on it. And for example, when I welded it back together, I don't have a spot welder. I used a MIG welder, so the welds are not original. Things like that. It's got some scratches on the windshield. Looks like somebody had a diamond ring on maybe and was rubbing snow or something off. This stuff here is kind of rotted. The door panels. The door panels, the vinyl's all cracked and messed up, kind of. I mean, it works, functional, but I got it, once I got it running, I started driving it and I quit working on it and I just drive it around. So I'm probably, unless I get another shop, I'm never going to get around to finishing this because I got too much other stuff going on. But as you can see, the panels need replaced. Leaks oil. I've got a little oil pan under it. Catch oil. Windshield wipers do not work. I haven't got to mess with them yet. To troubleshoot it or anything. It's either in the switching or the motor. The cold and hot temperature is disconnected from the little valve on the engine. When I got it was disconnected and the little piece was gone. There's some kind of little screw and clip that, to clip the end of the wire cable to the mechanical valve for the water. So in the winter, I turn the hot water on. In the summer, I turn it off. Don't worry about it. The blower, the cab blower does not work. So it's either the motor's out or something with the wiring on it. But when you're driving, you got the vent, so it's blowing, air blows through as you're moving. Okay, it's 1300cc engine. I've got an electric fuel pump on it. Right when I started driving it, when I first got it, the float was bad, but my fuel pump was bad also. So it was really, really finicky starting, and once in a while it seemed like it would flood out, and other times it seemed like it wouldn't get gas. And I took it off to a car show, and it just like quit running, or not wanting to run. I could get it running, but it was hard to start. Anyway, I bypassed the fuel pump with electric pump and started getting gas, but then my carburetor started flooding, so I took the carburetor apart and found that the float was bad. So I put a new float and like a carburetor kit. I didn't do like a full-on rebuild of the carburetor. It was just like a basic gasket kit or whatever. Cleaned it all up. I added a extra fuel filter in front of the carburetor, an extra fuel filter in front of the fuel pump. I do have a mechanical fuel pump, I just haven't put it in yet. And this here is the water valve where the cable goes. Cable's here. It's just the lever on the valve that was missing a little screw and whatever goes with the little screw to clamp it. I got a new coil and points. I was at a car show and my condenser burnt out and it quit firing. I scraped the points clean with a knife and then it ran, so I went and bought a coil. A coil and a condenser and points, and put new plugs and wires in it. It's got the old generator, 12-volt system, but it's got a generator, not an alternator. Everything on the engine is original, except I did replace the stop cast iron American manifold. I replaced with the British header pipe. So I think my horsepower is maybe 60 instead of 50, 60 instead of 55, whatever. It's not a huge amount, but relatively speaking, it's a pretty good boost. I noticed out on the highway, you know, or accelerating it, the engine wants to wind out a little better. And I had the original air manifold or air breather cover, but I took it off and I just made a little round thing here. But the air filter is open all the way around, just try to maximize the breathing. I was gonna make some kind of little cowl going up to the front, but I don't have time to mess with that. But you can see I got, you know, it's missing the little wings on each side of the engine, which you can buy. I just never bothered with them because if you work on it, you gotta take them off anyway to work on it. So while I'm messing with it, I just never put them on. I got new clutch and brake cylinders, masters and slaves, and new brake hoses. And I got .5 fluid in it, not .3. .5, I'm told, is not to absorb moisture and corrode as easily. New tires, new springs. The front springs are custom springs that have got the front end lowered about 3 inches. So the front end is really low. I got a racing jack that just barely will get under it. I mean, there's, I don't know, maybe that much ground clearance or something under the front. I got this when I started driving it. I just kind of quit working on it and just started driving the show. I was having fun with it, and I never did get back to finishing it up. But the battery box, the floorboards, the trunk floor, rear, the lance is all new metal, and rear fenders is new metal, and I got them on, primered them and painted them. You know, the cab or whatever, the cowl here, and the hood, I don't touch that. It's just as was. And I'll show detailed videos later of everything. But it's got places where there's rust holes and rust and pitting and stuff. And, you know, it needs, you know, it could finish being restored. That's what I want to do. That was kind of my goal to kind of complete it, but I don't have I really don't have a place for it, you know, to do it. And once I started driving it, it's so much fun to drive, I went and got a Miata. So I got a Miata as a daily driver to work. The engine, and I'll show you all this. The engine's all kind of oily. I put a new oil gasket on the valve cover. Put a new water pump in it. New fan belt. So I got one fan belt and it's got 3 fuses. The electrical system is pretty simple as far as cars go. Lucas, the highly esteemed British name of automotive electricals. Let's see, I'm not sure what else on here. I'll go ahead and, it's been sitting for 2 weeks. I started up 2 weeks ago and drove it around down the highway a little bit. I'll try to start it here. And I put seat belts in it, shoulder belts. It had factory, like just lap belts, but I felt like shoulder harnesses might be a little safer, although if any big car creams you, it's a death trap. So I really don't drive it in traffic much. You know, drive it on back roads, side roads, curvy roads, you know, with the car club. Anyway, see, it's, oh, and I put in, I'll show pictures later. I put in the speakers, a really nice speaker system, brand new, nice Ford speakers. I made little, I took masonite and lacquered it and painted it up. And I got them mounted out of the way, up on each side, right in front of the door. There's fenders, there's speakers, and right under here on each side. I got nice big speakers. I got Kenwood radio, but the thing quit working. It says it's trying to, I don't know, it's trying to go to the internet or doing something. I don't know what it's doing, but you know, I used it for 3 or 4 road trips, and it was awesome. And then it started giving me that crazy, just trying to, I I don't know, get satellite or do something. I can't figure out how to get it back to where it'll just play FM or Bluetooth hook up to my phone. I had it, you know, Bluetooth from my phone, so I'd just listen wherever I wanted to. And it had been, it had a minor wreck, at least one minor wreck on this side. And if you can see here, this door, see that line there is a little flat. I think it got hit right here because the old fender matched the door, but this door is kind of flat there. It should be curved out a little bit more. And the very bottom of the door, instead of being curved in as much as a little out. And it matched the old fender, but what they did, they just kind of like got it looking good and puttied it up and went on. But I put the new fender in, I got it all fixed. As far as, I haven't done anything to the door, but the fender's new. This piece is old, the original piece. But what I did with it, I hammered it out, you know, cut out and welded in some metal in the places that was either bent up too bad or if it was rusty. I just welded in new metal. And I had the doors off of this. I mean, the whole floor, and you know, I got it all in pictures. The whole floor, both sides of the hump. The hump is still original metal, and right under the gas tank, that metal, the hump over the axle, that's original metal. But the floorboards, you know, trunk's all brand new metal, welded in. And I went crazy. I've probably got 15 pounds of MIG wire holding this thing together. That floorboard ain't gonna come apart. And then what happened recently, I got a dent back here. It's probably boring, I apologize. I got a dent in the trunk lid, I'll show you. I had it outside when the snowstorm hit. It was only supposed to be 2 inches of snow, and I had it parked outside and get my emergency power generator out because this was in away from a generator, and my canopy collapsed. And I put a dent in my trunk, and I put a rip in my top. And the top had no rips in it. It was really good shape for a convertible top. Of course, these old bridge cars, you know, if you get enough rain, they're going to leak no matter what. But yeah, anyway, so that top needs, I'll show you that too. Top needs fixed. But what I did just after this spring, I just folded the top up, and I got my little boot cover, whatever you call it, on here. This thing was like this thing here. I re-sewed this completely. All the old threading was rotted on there. I re-sewed it all up, kept it kind of original. The seats, I think, had been redone, but I'm not sure. They're kind of faded. They look like they've been in here a while, but they're not the same color as the door panels. The door panels look like more grayish looking. The door panels may have originally been the colors of the seat. I don't know, but if I replace them, I'm going to get a color that matches the seat. Whatever it is, it's like tan, leather tan color, whatever it is. I figured I'd go with that color. And my rims, I just painted kind of like a chocolate brown and put little beauty rings on them. Like I say, it's not really original for scoring points and for people's choice. If you don't have mag wheels and chrome or aluminum, you know, valve covers and chrome pipes, people don't vote for you. You know, unless you're the most customized hot rod, you know, with a professional paint job, or you got to just be like strictly original or just rebuilt, really original looking. So if you want a car like that, this ain't for you. But if you want a car that you can drive and not worry too much about, drive it to the show, have fun with it. You know, the engine seems pretty solid. It's a 1300 cc. If you try to speed shift from third down into second, like if you're going in the corner and you want to downshift and have your RPMs up real high, if you crank it from third, I gotta get my pattern right. Yeah, first, second, third to Yeah, third and second. I haven't driven for so long I can't remember now. Third down and second. If you try to speed shift down third and second and pop the clutch out to, let the wheels, drag you down or either rev it up, sometimes the synchronizer won't catch. And I'll put a plug in for Ronnie McLeod. McLeod's British car service. Actually, the car club that is kind of centered around his repair shop is where I bought this at, and he told me to put heavier gear oil in the transmission. I was asking him, I just get another transmission or getting synchronizer kit or whatever, seals and synchronizers, or find another transmission to put in it, maybe put an overdrive in it. But he said just take out the gear oil, which is probably like 80 or 90 weight gear oil, and put in 140 weight gear oil to make the gear oil thicker, and don't spend money on the synchronizers. And it's not a problem. Normal downshifting is not a problem. Or if I'm going to downshift fast, I double clutch it. Which if you've driven sticks very long or much, no problem. Anyway, what else? Yeah, wipers. I said the wipers don't work. Yeah, turn signals work, headlights work, brake lights work, running lights work. The mirrors on the fenders look cool, but I bought the cheap ones trying to save money, be on a budget, and they're just kind of junky. They're Moss motor ones, but they're just, the screws that hold them on are too loose. They strip out, they don't hold it tight. I should have bought, instead of buying the $30 mirrors, I should have bought the $80 mirrors. Someday I'll take them off, put better ones on, because they eventually will fall down, and then you can't see out of them. But anyway, let's see what else. I got a box full of the spare parts. When I redid the carpeting, I did not spend $500 on a carpet kit like I could have. I just bought outdoor carpeting for about 50 bucks and some 3M adhesive, and I cut and fit the floor carpeting into it. Which, if you're not trying to win any points at a show, it's a lot of difference of 10 times the cost, to get custom interior. So I did not do that. When I built this, I got a car dolly. I built a car dolly custom for this, and had the floor about this high off the ground. I could roll up a chair to it and work on the rocker panels like right here. And I can move the dolly around, and I'll give the dolly away with a car as part of the sale price. In the event you want to raise it and put it on a dolly and finish working on the body. I got lower back problems. I don't like bending over, and the car's so low anyway. I put it on a dolly and I have to bend. But anyway, I had it on that dolly, and I took the doors off, put braces across the door, and start cutting out all the old rotted stuff and putting in new panels. Spent several years. I think 2017 is when I actually put it back on the ground. So it was like 6 years just working evenings, weekends, messing around with it, getting new metal in it, painting it. I put a new gas tank in it. I tried to go cheap and Paseo gas tank, but I should have just bought a new one to begin with. Anyway, I got a new gas tank in it, and it's holding. Okay, I'm gonna get a start here in a minute. I honestly don't remember. I know American cars, you pump the gas, and the little accelerator pump helps give the carburetor gas. I don't know if these got accelerator pumps on them or not, so I never know whether to pump it cold or not. I knew it one time, but I've forgotten. And I think my float needs to be reset a little bit higher. There are two. If I make a super ultra sharp right hand turn, like crazy right hand turn, there's one between here and Fayetteville on the pig trail. There's one crazy right hand hairpin turn, and we're climbing uphill trying to go about 30 around this corner that is, about as wide as my garage. it'll stall, and then it'll kick back in and run. It does it on a pig trail and right out here on the highway where I pull on the highway. If I take off, make a 90-degree right-hand turn uphill from a dead stop, I got a blind hill, so I got to rock it out of there so I don't get run over. I'll punch it, and on a right-hand turn, if I really make it sharp, in the close lane, it'll sputter a second or two, then clear up. But nowhere else on the road I ever have that issue. But I'm talking with a couple people. I'm thinking my float is set a little bit low, and I think that the gas is kind of sloshing to the side of the carburetor, and it's trying to suck air when I do that. But normal driving, it never happens. But when I'm hot riding around on a really tight hairpin corner, or jumping out into 60-mile-an-hour traffic from a dead stop, and really hitting the corner hard and taking off, sometimes it'll give that little sputter. But I didn't mess with it anymore because it seemed to run pretty good. But that is on my list of future to-dos on this. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I can't again. I got parked so close to the wall. I'm gonna let it see here what it does. I don't know if it'll see. I'll put a little bit of choke. I'll let the fuel pump run for a couple seconds. It almost started. So at this point, I'll give it a pump, a couple pumps. I don't know if that does anything or not. I think fuel has maybe drained back down away from the carburetor. I don't know. If it fires, it starts to run, then it stops. I'm gonna give it more choke. Car does not want to be sold. And at this point, I'm afraid I'm going to flood it if I give it too much choke, but I'm pretty convinced it's not getting gas enough to get going. When it's warm, it doesn't do that. Just when it's been sitting for 2 or 4 weeks, it's going to fire, stop, fire, stop. Or what I do, the easy way, I got some Freon. If it don't start right up, I just give it a couple seconds of a Freon shot, and then it'll start right up. Yeah, I'm gonna distract myself. Oh. Okay. If I had better technical skills, I'd probably almost put a fuel injection on it. There's probably kits, but okay, I'm gonna try a little walk around here. Well, I'm gonna kill the video now, and I'll do another video.